Our challenge was basically around diversity and welfare within a workforce. And the problem statement that we were provided was it is important to understand the diversity and welfare of the workforce so that we can drive inclusion and manage teams respectfully. So what was the outcome of that? The outcome that they wanted was some analysis into their projects to derive their social value. And in order to do that, provide some Power BI dashboards to visualize that data. So the first thing that we wanted to do when we picked up this challenge was actually understand what are the actual user stories. And the two key kind of areas that we found was that it was relating to project managers and also project directors who had kind of an oversight of several projects. And here are some of the user stories that we came up with for a project manager. So they want to be able to analyse the diversity by gender, age, ethnicity and spoken language so that they can drive inclusion and manage teams respectfully. Another one was that they wanted to understand the languages spoken so that they could be more inclusive and provide documents such as health and safety in different languages for the site. So the project director, so very similar kind of data that they want to see, but obviously over several projects.
So from those user stories, we decided to do a scope analysis based on the template that was presented in one of the Hack 7 masterclasses. And we used the problem statements for the project director and project manager, the I want statements, to identify the key questions from those problem statements. The limitations with the data provided were as follows. So the data providers were limited to just the London project sites, and also only going 1 month back. So that kind of limited us in terms of any historic data, and also looking at the nationwide project sites as well. The data size was relatively small, maybe just a few thousand rows of data. Therefore, we didn't need to build a database, so we didn't have to look into this for the data provided. We just used the Excel format data that we were provided with and imported that directly into Power BI. We went through a design stage, which involved designing a few wireframes, but as the project progressed, we implemented different ideas, and also this is the results that we came out with as a team.
We've created 3 different dashboards. First one being a high-level top-down dashboard that a project director or a sector head might find useful. It provides a top-down view of the diversity on site, as well as any additional gaps across all the projects. And as we said previously, this one would have been updated monthly, as opposed to the next ones, which would be updated daily. This one is a project management dashboard, which focuses more on operatives on site and on the specific project the person might want to see, as well as it has a lot of similarities to the project director dashboard. This one has a bit more of a focus on data and tracking data on each of the respective sites. This one is very reminiscent of the previous dashboard, whereas in the previous one, which focused on sites, on every site, this one focuses more on trades on a site and overall trade trends.
So scalability and future developments. One of the things that we noticed throughout the process that we wanted to provide trend analysis, but due to the lack of data going far back historically, we were unable to do that. So we would say that a future development will be to provide trend analysis moving forward. Another future development would be to collect data from a wider geography. The geography at the minute is just located in London, but we would scale that out to other locations. Another further development will be including disability data within the data sets. And the last one will be to compare diversity performance against competitors, relying on access to reliable data about the construction industry as a whole. And here are 2 examples of the dashboards that you could do from an environmental point of view, and also a tree map in terms of looking at gender, ethnicity, and the trade.
Our questions were, which traits and sites show the largest diversity gap from the population benchmark for ethnicity and gender? Well, the answer to this one is really easy to see in the two focus dashboards that we have created for this purpose. Especially when it comes to gender, male is quite predominant in certain traits, and then similar happens with ethnicity. Then how would you be able to improve your analysis if you had operative data at different points in time over a several year period? This has been mentioned previously. So the thing is that when if we can see the progress of how this varies through time, we will know the impact of our policies to improve diversity through and inclusion through the sites.